Hello and welcome to Unlocking Possibilities, the podcast that will help you to transform your life and or your business from the inside out. I'll be bringing to you the best of NLP and cutting-edge neuroscience of your multiple brains. I'll be exploring how these transformational coaching modalities have the potential to change your life. And if you're interested in training to coach others in NLP or MBIT, then listen out for more information about my training courses and how you can become an accredited NLP and MBIT coach. Hello and welcome to another episode of Unlocking Possibilities with NLP and Coaching. I'm your host, Sarah Fletcher, and as always, I'm so grateful and delighted that you're here to join me in this episode. So I would love to bring today some of the transformations that my current NLP practitioners have experienced. So last weekend, they completed their 5-month journey and received a well-deserved certification in NLP. So they are now certified NLP practitioners with the Association for NLP. And what I want to share with you in this episode is how beautiful it is to see their own personal transformation. So most people that come on the NLP practitioner are people who are in leadership roles or counselors, therapists, people who want to use NLP to support other people. So I get a lot of educators on my courses because my background is education. So I seem to attract the educators intentionally. Leaders, people who are in leadership roles, who are wanting to bring their best self to their leadership role. And of course, then being able to inspire and motivate and lead others successfully. There are coaches on my courses, therapists, counsellors, hypnotherapists, people in the health sector, people in marketing, project management, human resources. NLP really is for anybody. And when people embark on the NLP practitioner, particularly, the diploma, the 3-day diploma is very much a personal transformation. And that's sort of how I market that, even though you can use those skills as well with others. But ultimately it starts with you and your own way of showing up in the world. So then when they move towards the practitioner, which is the next level of training in NLP, they are wanting to use NLP really successfully with others to influence change, to empower people, like I say, to lead successfully, to have greater transformations in their therapeutic role or coaching role, and really support their clients and people that they lead in the best way possible. What people don't often realise is actually that their own personal transformation will continue and will be absolutely incredible. And that's one of the things that I love as a trainer, observing and being part of. It's such a rewarding and beautiful role to be in, and I'm so blessed that I get to share this journey with so many people. So in this podcast episode, you'll hear some little clips of people talking about their practitioner journey. If you're watching it on YouTube, there are separate little clips that you can watch, but I want to just share some of that for you. And one of the things that we say in NLP to calibrate the change that we're experiencing and to really become aware and notice it, we ask the question, what will you see, hear and feel that will let you know that the change has happened? So it's almost like your evidence criteria, because when we're going through a change process, if we don't future pace it and, put it into our lives, then nothing changes. So a great question to ask is, what will you see? What will you hear? What will you feel that is different in your life that will let you know that the changes that you are working on, the changes that you want, have occurred? So these are some of the questions that we ask in the NLP practitioner training. And it's absolutely lovely to hear what people say. So particularly for their own journey. So yes, they have given examples of how they have seen changes with others and what they've experienced when they've been practicing NLP with other people. That's part of the process of the practitioner, is to do case studies and learning log, if you like, on how you've applied the practices and what's happened in those NLP sessions. But the biggest thing really is your own learning journey and how you are applying it to yourself. So some of the things that the practitioners said were, and I love this because this is the power of generative change and emergent wisdom. And this only happens when change happens on a deep cellular level, when your whole neurology changes because of the work that you've done on the inside. And it can be sometimes quite challenging to capture that in words, because often it's a felt sense, it's an experience that is happening on the inside. And then how this shows up on the outside are things like this, and this is what people said that they are experiencing in their life now. So what they can see, hear and feel that is different for them than when they first started the NLP practitioner. So they said they were calmer in handling difficult situations. So difficult people at work, challenging situations that would have once caused them stress, and perhaps where they would have reacted in a less than helpful way or ruminated over it, afterwards. Sometimes things happen and we end up in our mind thinking about it and overthinking about it, ruminating. Should I have done this? Should I have done that? Could I have said that better? What are they going to think about me? Did I make a mess of that? What have I, completely ruined something? So we can end up in this self-talk that is really unhelpful and can keep us stuck, and then we regret our decisions, or we regret doing a certain behavior. So what the NLP practitioners said that they had noticed in themselves, that in those times of difficulty or decision making or problems that they were experiencing, they were handling those problems in a much wiser and a much wiser way, but also a way that enabled them to get their outcome quicker. So they weren't left with feeling that they had said something wrong or done something wrong, or they weren't left with feeling that they'd had that overreaction to things. So they were calmer in a sense of they were able to think more clearly, able to emotionally regulate, so that when they were responding to challenging situations or difficult people, particularly in their work role or even in their home life, with partners or their children, they were able to take that momentary pause, breathe, get their mind and body system into coherence and alignment, and respond in a way that was a win-win for them and for the other person, or at least to respond from a place of inner knowing that they had responded in their best possible way, using their inner resources, their wisdom, their decision-making skills, their problem-solving skills in a way that was really optimum to get the result that they wanted. And what that does is it then alleviates, if you like, the suffering that we sometimes experience, where we are thinking that we'd said something different, or wishing we hadn't flown off the handle or reacted in a certain way, or giving ourselves a hard time, getting that big wooden stick out and beating ourselves up, metaphorically, in language, because we wish that we'd said or done something different. So that was one of the things that they had calibrated within themselves, that they could see, hear and feel themselves responding and reacting to responding to things in a different way, from a place of coherence, calm, feeling more confident in the way that they were responding to things, because they were doing it from that place of mind and body connection, rather than that instantaneous reactive place that we can sometimes find ourselves in, which can be really unhelpful at times. So that was one of the things that they'd noticed. The other evidence criteria, what they could see, hear and feel, was that generally in their life they were feeling that they were more able able to be more confident in the things that they wanted, that they want to do. So for example, some of them are running businesses. So there's a coach, there's a hypnotherapist, there's educators, but the educator in the group had actually used her NLP influencing skills to create a job within the school that she's working. She's already a maths teacher and a mental health lead, and she wanted to support the staff much more with the tools of NLP to help staff with their own well-being, to reduce that stress and overwhelm that teachers experience, to help them manage their behaviour in the classroom, to support their students in being more successful. So what they were also experiencing was more confidence to build their business and go for their goals and dreams and put themselves forward for things that perhaps they previously wouldn't have done, because they were more aligned with who they are, who they want to be, what they want for their lives. They've got more clarity, they've got more direction. Some of the processes that we use in NLP are about supporting you in setting what's called well-formed outcomes and creating a compelling future. And when you do that, you set yourself up for success. The NLP presuppositions, the linguistic part of NLP, are about presupposing that something positive will happen and that success will be achieved. So when you train your brain in that way, when you ask the right questions, when you set your mindset up in the right way, then it's easier to work towards your goals and your outcomes. It's easier to go for those things that you want to go for. It's easier to know that it's already done. You just have to take the next step towards it. So that was another lovely thing to hear and see and observe and experience with the NLP practitioners, that they have more clarity on where they want to go. They have more direction. Like I say, some of them have their own businesses. Some of them are involved in project management and marketing. There's another, like I say, there was an educator, a hypnotherapist, a counsellor, somebody who was also a mental health specialist on a mental health helpline, and also a leader in an organisation. So what they said was that the skills of NLP and the tools of NLP and the language of NLP supported them in being able to be more confident in knowing and trusting that they could get to where they wanted to get to. They had the mindset and way of being and approach that helped them to be more open to possibilities, to be more skilled in problem solving and coming up with solutions for the things that they wanted. You know, often we get stuck sometimes in that problem frame of, you know, why is this happening and why can't I do this, and it's not fair, or I'm not the kind of person who's going to be able to do that, and somebody else is better than me. NLP supports you in reframing your way of thinking about things so that you can put yourself into what we call the outcome frame of thinking and ask yourself really powerful questions like, what do I want? What will happen when I have that? How am I going to achieve it? What's the next step that I need to take towards it? What will having that, whatever it is, give me? How will it benefit my life? What will I see, hear and feel when I have it? So we start to ask ourselves these really powerful questions and you become your own coach. So that for me is one of the biggest things actually of the biggest thing for me of teaching NLP and being an NLP trainer is that I am one of my core values is supporting people in becoming their own coach so that every single day they can do the things that they want to do, feel good, be confident and go out there and achieve the things that they want to achieve, have good relationships, feel good in themselves. You know, when you feel good in yourself, then you're going to show up in a way that is supportive of achieving the things you want, getting the results you want, and feeling good in life. So that's another thing that the NLP practitioners said. They said that they were much clearer in what they wanted in life. They had a really clear pathway and direction of where they were going. And they didn't necessarily have it all worked out yet. And that's totally fine. We don't need to have it all worked out yet. But they were confident in knowing that it was going to unfold at the right time, in the right way. They were more trusting of themselves and their own intuitive knowing and wisdom and guidance, in that they could move towards where they wanted to go. The other things that they had noticed in their own personal and professional lives were, not only did they have more clarity on where they wanted to go, not only were they more confident in responding to things and feeling that they could solve problems easier, they were also more aligned with who they are in the world and what was right for them. Sometimes we can get a little bit stuck in life because you might be saying yes to things that you don't really want to say yes to, or you might be stuck in a job that isn't really aligned with your values, or perhaps it's not serving your soul, perhaps it's not your mission and your purpose, and it's not really what you want to do. You might have got stuck in thinking that I've got to do this and I should be doing that, and almost limiting yourself with certain beliefs about who you are in the world because you think that that's the way you should be. NLP enables you to really dig deep and get awareness around what those beliefs are that might be holding you back, or what stories you tell yourself about who you are and what you can achieve or what you can't achieve, what kind of person you are. It's that identity level stuff. So again, what the practitioners said was that they felt that they were able to truly align their life with who they want to be in the world, how they want to show up, what they want to put out there into the world, and to be courageous and brave enough to do that. Because again, for many of us, we might not feel courageous, we might not feel brave, because we tell ourselves those stories that limit us. Well, I'm not going to be able to do that, and what if it fails? What if it doesn't work out? I remember doing some of that myself when I was leaving my teaching role and setting up my business, because change can feel scary. It feels uncertain. And one of the things that the NLP practitioners said, that they had more courage to go out there and really follow their goals and dreams. They had more courage to speak up for themselves, more courage to not be afraid of uncertainty, and that things aren't necessarily always we don't necessarily always have things worked out. It's that we have to be courageous enough to go, okay, well, let's let go of attachment, let's let go of the need to control things, and let's see what happens. Let's be courageous enough to step out there and see what happens. So another thing that they experienced was that courage to go out there and do things that they really want to do. So I just wanted to share with you some of that, because I think sometimes people don't realize when they come on an NLP course the transformations that they are going to experience. And it really is that transformation from the inside out. And when I talk about generative change and that emergent wisdom, I mean from a deep level of unconscious change. And that generative change is where we create something that we haven't realized was there before. When your thinking changes and opens up new perspectives and new opportunities and unlocks possibilities that you've never even perhaps considered for your life. Generative wisdom is where you do processes that support you in digging deep into your own intuitive knowing and guidance. You'll have had experiences in life where you felt out of alignment and off kilter. Perhaps you're experiencing some anxiety or some discontent with life, or that sort of feeling of, is this it? And a little bit of Groundhog Day and life feeling a bit mundane. So what we do with NLP is we use practices and techniques and language to dive into your unconscious, your mind-body system, to reorganize the way that your system operates. And then what emerges is emergent wisdom of problem solving, deciding what you want for your life consciously, resolving limiting beliefs and limiting patterns of thinking, feeling, and behaving that have been stopping you from really going for what you want in life. And it's a whole neurological shift within your system. And we know now through neuroscience that your brains, head, heart, and gut brains, are wired for change. You have neuroplasticity, so they can change. We can change those limiting beliefs. We can change our patterns of thinking and behaving. The thing is, though, that sometimes you don't even know how you are preventing yourself from living life to the fullest. You just know that you might have a sense of discontent or dissatisfaction, or that things aren't right. And like I say, your body will give you symptoms like perhaps anxiety or not sleeping, or a feeling of dissatisfaction. You might even get other physical symptoms like headaches, or IBS, and anything like that are often an indication that we need to listen and tune into ourselves and do that inner work so that we can transform our difficulties, transform our problems, transform our limiting beliefs. And this is what NLP gifts you with. So I would love to share more of this with you. If you want to know more about how NLP can support you, then do go over to my website, unlockingpossibilities.co.uk. You can buy my book on there, Kiss Your Life, The Calm Guide to Keeping It Successfully Simple. You can follow me on Instagram. You can join in my free Facebook group. I also have lots of free resources that you can download at the bottom of this YouTube video or podcast episode. So I would love to connect with you, and I'll see you next time.